Arthur lived a simple life. His house was neat. The roses in his garden bloomed brightly. Each morning, the sun would stream through his kitchen window. He would make tea, toast for the children. Everything was in its place. He prided himself on this order. It was a carefully constructed stage, and he played his part well, a man in control. Breakfast was a noisy affair. Emily, his daughter, would chatter about school. Tom, his son, would usually be building something with his cereal. Sarah, his wife, would watch them, her smile warm, genuine. Arthur would join the laughter. He would ruffle Tom's hair. He would listen to Emily's stories. He was the loving father, the attentive husband. These moments were real, weren't they? He brought her flowers sometimes. He remembered anniversaries. He fixed the leaky tap in the bathroom. He did all the things a good husband should do. He ticked all the boxes. He played the role. He had to. Outwardly, Arthur was a pillar of calm, the steady hand, the reassuring voice. Colleagues at his mundane office job saw him as reliable, dependable, unflappable. Even when deadlines loomed, even when pressure mounted, he maintained an easy composure. But sometimes a shadow would cross his face, a fleeting darkness in his eyes, gone before anyone could question it, a tiny crack in the perfect picture. Then, the other phone would ring, a burner, tucked away in his old briefcase, its vibration a dreaded familiar summons. His posture would change instantly. The easy smile would vanish, his jaw would set, his eyes would narrow, becoming cold, calculating. The loving family man receded. Something harder, something dangerous took his place. This was the other Arthur, the one nobody knew, the one he tried to forget. His mind became a battlefield. Every decision was a torment. His values, carefully taught by his own father, screamed in protest. Honesty, integrity, kindness. These were words he once lived by. Now they were inconvenient. Obstacles. He had to push them down, silence their insistent cries. He told himself it was necessary, a means to an end, but the silence never felt complete. The screams just became whispers. He avoided looking in mirrors for too long. When he did, he saw a stranger, a man with his face, yes. But the eyes were different, haunted. Sometimes it felt like the mirror itself was cracked, showing him a fractured image. Two Arthurs side by side. One, the loving father. The other, a dealer in shadows. He didn't know which one was real anymore. Or perhaps both were. And that was the most terrifying thought of all. The choices he made in this secret life were brutal, unforgiving. Decisions that benefited some and utterly destroyed others. He operated in darkness, in whispered conversations, in clandestine meetings. He told himself it was all for his family, to provide, to protect, but the justification felt thin, like a worn-out coat offering little warmth against an icy wind. He was sinking, and he knew it. With his family, he tried to be present. He really did. He would sit on the floor playing with Tom's toy cars. He would listen to Emily practice her violin, but his mind would wander. A word, a sound would trigger a memory, a face from his other life, a dangerous situation narrowly avoided. He would nod, he would smile, but his eyes were distant, lost in a place far from their cozy living room. When he was alone, the weight of his actions would press down, crushing him. He'd sit in his study, the door locked, the justifications would begin. A desperate litany in his head. I had no choice. It's for their future. This pain is temporary. He replayed his decisions, trying to find the good, trying to make it right in his own mind. But the guilt gnawed, relentless, unceasing, a constant dull ache. The money he earned from these dealings felt unclean, tainted. He imagined it was like burning money. Each note he touched, each pound that went into their bank account seemed to sizzle, to scorch his hands. It provided comfort, security, but for him, it was a constant reminder, a brand, the price of his soul. He couldn't enjoy the things it bought, the holidays, the new car, they all reeked of his compromises. Peaceful moments became fragile, easily shattered. The scent of Sarah's baking, suddenly replaced by the phantom smell of damp concrete and fear. A child's innocent laughter, abruptly cut by the mental image of a desperate face. His mind was a revolving door, flashing between the warmth of home and the cold, hard edges of his secret world. There was no rest, no escape from the turmoil within. The strain began to show, subtly at first, a new sharpness in his tone, an uncharacteristic impatience. Sarah noticed. He saw the worry in her eyes, the hesitant questions she started to ask. Are you all right, love? You seem distant. He would force a smile, reassure her. But the wall between them was growing, brick by invisible brick. He was there but not truly with her. His children felt it too. Tom became quieter around him. Emily's bright chatter sometimes faltered when she saw his preoccupied frown. He wasn't the same dad. He didn't laugh as easily. He spent more time alone, locked in his study, or staring blankly at the television. They couldn't understand. They just knew something was wrong. A chill had entered their warm home, and it emanated from him. He tried to maintain control, to keep the two lives separate, but the mask was slipping more often. Irritability would flare over trivial things. A misplaced set of keys, a spilled drink. Then came the crushing guilt, the apologies, the desperate attempts to be normal again, but the cycle would repeat. He was a man walking a tightrope, and the rope was fraying, fast. He feared the fall. Living with this conflict was a slow erosion of his spirit, of his relationships. He was becoming a hollow man, a ghost in his own life. The love for his family was the only thing that felt real. Yet it was that very love he used to justify the darkness. The irony was a cruel twist of the knife. The double life was meant to protect them. But it was poisoning everything, including them. The echoes of his choices were beginning to fill every room.